Hi, welcome to Cybersecure channel. Today we are diving into a real-world campus network design using Cisco Packet Tracer. By the end of this video, you will know how to build a scalable 3-tier network with configuration including 15 virtual local area network, dynamic host control protocol, VLAN trunking protocol, and port security. The video is divided into 3 parts. The first is topology, the second is basic concept, and the third is live demonstration. So let's get started. Now the topology requirement is to build 3-tier campus network having 15 local area network and designed for more than 200 PCs. We have to implement VLANs, DHCP, VTP, port security, and device login security features. We also have to ensure Inter-VLAN routing through static route to enable inter-VLAN communication. Now first, what is a virtual local area network? Virtual local area network or VLAN logically segments a physical network into smaller broadcast domain. It is identified by ID and name. A VLAN interface or switched virtual interface SVI is a layer 3 interface that is created to provide communication between the VLANs. Coming towards the DHCP, which is dynamic host configuration protocol, it automatically assigns IP address to devices. For example, when you connect to Wi-Fi and your phone or your laptop get an automatic IP, this allocation of IP is controlled by DHCP protocol. Then is VLAN trunking protocol, which synchronizes VLAN configuration across the switches. IP routing enables the communication between the VLANs. Now in the topology, we'll use Cisco 3650 for the core and 2960 for distribution and access layer, just like in a real enterprise. The 3-tier consists of core layer where the routing decision take place. We will configure all the VLANs and their DHCP pool here. Then we have distribution layer, which distributes the VLAN from core to access layer. The end system or the PCs are connected to the access layer, therefore port security is enabled here. VLAN trunking protocol will be configured at each layer with server at the core layer and a client at distribution and access layer. Now coming towards the core switch. The core switch is the brain of our network. In the initial configuration, we enable the secret password, the console password, and the normal VTY password. The IP routing is enabled through the IP routing command. Then we create VLAN and switch virtual interface. For example, here we are creating VLAN 10 with the name admin and configuring the interface VLAN 10 and assigning the IP address. Then we define the DHCP pool for the VLAN 10. We give it the name admin and assign the network and default router. After that, the interface configuration, where all of the 4 interfaces are connected to the 4 distribution switches. We have configured it as a trunk and allowed all the VLANs to flow through these trunk interfaces. Then virtual trunking, VLAN trunking protocol. The domain name is campus. The mode is server on the core and the password is defined. Then we have defined all the 15 VLANs starting from 10 to 150. Now coming towards the live demonstration. We start by giving the host name, that is CSW. Then defining the console password. Then defining the VTY password. Then defining the secret, the enable secret password. Now starting from the VLAN trunking protocol, we have assigned the domain name, the mode, and the password. Now starting with the VLAN configuration, starting from VLAN 10, and similarly assigning the remaining VLAN. VLAN 10 is admin, VLAN 20 is faculty, VLAN 30 is student, then lab 1, lab 2, library, staff 1, guest, servers, I'm defining 15 into VLANs, that is the requirement of this topology. The names can be given according to your choice. The ID can be of your choice. These are just an example, just to show how the VLAN is configured and name is given to the VLAN. Now the 15 VLANs have been configured: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, and 150. Now defining the DHCP pool for each VLAN. The DHCP configuration consists of the DHCP pool name, then the network, and then the default router. Now we will do the same configuration for all the VLANs. The DHCP configuration depends upon your requirement. That is that on which VLAN you want to configure the automatic assignment of the VLANs. Here we are assigning almost 255 IPs to each VLAN. So our requirement of making a 3-tier network where 200 PCs can be connected is already met through a single VLAN. Now after the assignment of the DHCP pool, we are defining this switched virtual interface, first for VLAN 10 and similarly for VLAN 20 up till 150. Now you can see that the VLANs have been configured. Now defining the trunk port to distribute these VLAN to the distribution layer. After checking the name of the interface, let's define the interface range. Then assigning the trunk configuration and defining the allowed VLAN, that is from 10 to 150. Now all these VLANs will automatically appear on the distribution switch because we have configured the VTP, and we will configure the same VTP configuration with the mode as client on the distribution. So as you can see, the configuration has been completed, and the final configuration can be seen on the screen. Now moving forward, distribution switch. The distribution switches aggregate traffic from the access layer. The initial configuration involved the host name, again the secret password, and then the console password, and then the VTY password. After that, we have to define VLAN trunking protocol with the same domain name and password, but the different mode, that is client. Then we have to define the trunk interfaces towards the core switches and towards the access switches. As you can see in the screenshot, once you define the VTP protocol, all of the VLANs will appear on the distribution switch. And the trunk interfaces are also shown on the screen. Now moving forward towards the live configuration. First of all, defining the host name. Then defining the VLAN trunking protocol. Then defining the trunk interfaces. The first one towards the core switch, allowing the VLAN from 10 to 150. The second towards the access switch. In which we define only the required VLANs to be propagated towards the access switch. Now as you can see all of the VLANs because of the VTP protocol, and the VTP status is also flashed on the screen. Then we can also see the interface status, in which two ports are trunk. One is going towards the core switch and the other is going towards the access switch. Now moving forward, the last layer, that is access layer. The access switches connect the end devices. Here the security is important because the end devices are actually connected only to the access switch. Again, the initial configuration, which involves the host name and the passwords, the enable secret, and then the VLAN trunking protocol, and then the trunk interface towards the distribution switch and access interface towards the PCs. Then we enable the port security by defining that only maximum of two MAC addresses can be connected to on the specific interface, and on the violation we define the action of the switch. Now coming towards the live demonstration. Starting with the host name, then again configuring the passwords to console and VTY, and then the enable secret, configuring the interfaces, first towards the distribution switch, where we define the trunk interfaces, the trunk VLANs, and then the interface towards the end devices, that is the PCs. As you can see, the option is there that the VLAN is not available because we haven't configured the VTP protocol yet on the access switch. When we enable this protocol, all the VLANs from the core towards the distribution switches and in the end arriving at the access switch will appear on the access switch. Now as you can see, after the configuration of VTP protocol, we are able to configure the VLAN 130 on the fast Ethernet 0/2. Now assigning the port security configuration with maximum of 2 and violation of restrict. It is the action when our the security configuration is violated, the action taken by the switch, that is to restrict the communication. And now making the same configuration for the second PC as well, that is connected to the fast Ethernet 0/3, and enabling the security features, the port security feature. Now let us see the VLANs. As the VTP protocol is enabled, we can see all the VLANs. And we can see the status of the interfaces. One port is trunk, that is connected to the distribution switch, and the other two are the access, which are connected to the end PC. Now coming towards the configuration at the end PC. As we enable the DHCP protocol on the core switch, when we enable the DHCP, the automatic IP is assigned to our PC. Now the topology, as per the topology, we will be able to ping the other PCs on the separate VLAN because we have configured the IP routing. Let's see if we are able to do so. As you can see, we are able to ping the PCs that are connected to the other VLANs. This is made possible through the switch virtual interface and then enabling the IP routing on the core switch. So it confirms that our topology is working and we are able to configure a 3-tier network in which there is a VLAN to VLAN communication enabled. Now to recap, we built a 3-tier campus network with core, distribution and access switches. We enabled VLAN, switch virtual interfaces, DHCP, VTP and port security. I hope the video was useful. If you have any question, do let me know in comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more networking tutorial or cybersecurity topics. Thank you very much. See you next time.